Hey, hi, Acacia.
You say hi? Hi.
Hello. She's so
Hello.
Hey, Sherry. There's Laura. Hi. Oh my gosh. Acacia, what are you drawing? Hi. Oh. Is that Olaf?
Is that Olaf? Yeah.
Hi, Olaf. Yay. This is just a highlight of my month. Hey, Katrina. Just seeing familiar faces, like these specific familiar faces. This just makes me feel so good. Wow. Laura, are you about to do pickup?
Yes, I came early. So it's 1 o'clock at my house right now. I usually leave for school pickup at 1:30. So on these days, for your 1 o'clocks, I just come early and just sit here and do the whole card thing in my car.
I feel so special hearing that. That's coming from someone who's always late to everything. Like I'm always running late, usually on time, always running late. So that would be quite the task for me to do.
So I just have a bag of all my stuff. I just laid it all out all over the seats.
Oh my gosh, amazing. As people are coming in, I can tell you guys, I'm excited about this because I've been working, well, a couple of you know this, I've been working with a coach she might join in, Ashley Knight. She's been helping me like really streamline everything and, make it so that I'm not just killing myself every day to run a business. So this is going to be an attempt at doing that with these workshops. I've got this structure, very organized, and I can just print it off, fill it in for each workshop, and not overwhelm you guys with prompts too. So, well, okay. As people are coming in, oh my gosh, she is so cute. She's so cute. Let's share something good happening this week.
Did not die.
You can unmute because there's only a few of us right now. Selena, I'm calling on you, volunteering you.
What's that?
Tell me something good that's been going on this week or something that happened recently that's good.
What's the good thing that happened this week?
What happened?
What happened this week? Let's see. Well, it's sunny right now.
Yes.
So that's
very
good.
Big deal. A very good thing up here.
Yeah. We went to the pumpkin patch the other day.
I want right here.
Sure. And spent most of the time with the kids eating snack.
That's awesome.
Drove 30 minutes to eat snack outside.
Exactly. Sounds about right.
Scenery.
Sounds about right. Welcome in, Stephanie. We're just sharing something good that's been going on this week, something good that happened the last week. You guys can dump it in the chat too, because I'm going to try to keep everything on time here. We're going to start, I figure like 5 minutes after, we'll just get going on these things.
I'm trying to on the hand.
You probably know the answer to this too. Do you know that if I share my screen and I share audio with all of you, if I mute myself, does that also mute the song? No?
No.
Okay. No, Katrina's saying no.
No, you're golden.
Okay. And Katrina also had great feedback over a product she's creating. That's amazing. I see you, girl.
Yay.
Yeah, you've been working really hard.
Thanks.
I won an Amazon gift card yesterday.
Ooh. Congratulations.
Nice.
Yeah. I'll share my something good. I had an aura, would you call it an aura cleansing this morning with Laura? It was so cool. I've never done that before. And it was so cool. And the coolest thing happened afterwards too. It was just like, I'm actually still kind of like shaky from it in a good way. It was so cool.
Good
Highly
way.
recommend. Yeah, yeah, it was amazing. So I highly recommend you guys get a session going with Laura. Because you're doing them free
you.
for how much longer?
Through October.
Through October. Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's get started. I do want to welcome, we've got a couple new members this month, which I'm really excited about. Mary Ann, who joined last month, but she joined after I put my slides together. So I wanted to shout her out. Mary Ann Stewart for Made to Do This. Amy Harwell, Kelsey Waltz. She was actually a neighbor that I haven't met yet. She's also in Burien with me. And my sister-in-law, Heather Scott, who is a total crack up. She, of course, works during the day. So I'm going to nudge her to do an intro in our Facebook group because she's just the best. I love her so much. And then, okay, so we've got a couple little housekeeping items, fun announcements. I don't know if you guys saw, but I just posted on Instagram this morning that I'm going to up the price of this community starting on November 1st to $20 a month. You guys are all set at $5 a month for life. You guys are my lifers. You're my OG group here. And I just love you guys so much. I just want you to stay in at $5. That's a big deal. If you guys have had anyone in mind that you think would love these workshops and this community, I mean, who wouldn't, right? Like, please reach out and nudge them to join because, yep, November 1st. I think that's like 13 days, might be 12. I might be wrong in my Instagram post. I don't know. And then the other fun announcement is that November 19th. So that's the date of our November workshop. And I've confirmed that Gina Hamaday is going to be in it, the author of I Want to Thank You, which I'm so thrilled about. She's just so cool. I've had a chance to talk with her over Zoom now, and we've talked about the outline of that workshop. And if you guys haven't picked up, Sherry, I know you've got her book. It's so good. You will never run out of ideas for what to write in a card. It's a mix of like her stories around her relationships, friendships, why she thought of writing to someone. Let me back up. If you don't know, she wrote a card or a letter to someone every single day for a year. And then she wrote a book about it. It's awesome. And it's just makes you feel so good reading it. And it's so in line with what we're doing here. So I highly recommend it. She's going to be in the next workshop on November 19th. And that's part of why the price is going up, because I want to do this. I want to have guests come in and just offer even more to these workshops. So also keep an eye out for holiday cards by yours truly. Those are coming out hopefully very soon. I've got one here. I'll just show you really quick. Selena and I have been talking a lot about the concept of Santa and how none of us moms signed up for Santa. Can we just admit this? Can we talk about this at some point? So I thought of this. Behind every good Santa is a mom or parents who deserve all the credit. We'll see about that. But a holiday wish list, precedented times. That's all I want. Anyway, that's what's going on in Hayweek's world. So, okay, let's get going. I'm going to try doing this each workshop because I know I come in hot. I know I come in like a puppy dog full of energy. That's just, and you're just like, let's settle this down a little bit, huh?
I'm here for it. It's okay.
Thank you, Katrina. I'm going to ask Laura here to just kind of get in the mind frame, give us a couple deep breaths, and just take a minute to slow down here. So Laura, you go on and I'm going to mute everyone else, by the way. Let me see. There's a mute all button, right?
Sarah, I really appreciate that you asked me to do this, but I am all about your energy too. So it's good with me. But I was thinking about the intention to set for this, and really, I think it's really great to just take this moment to ground ourselves and come back into our bodies, because we are also busy and scattered, and we've made the time to set aside for this workshop to give to others. And so I think for me, it's all about just coming back into my body and not up in my brain of all the things that I have going on in the day, but just come and center. And so that's really what I want everyone to kind of get out of this, is to come back to a place where you can just be still for a minute and think about the people who you love, who you want to touch today through a card or a postcard. So with that intention set, I invite you all to take some deep breaths with me. We're going to do 3, and we're going to inhale through our nose, and then we'll hold it for a count, and then we will release through our mouth slowly and long. Okay, so in through your nose and fill your belly, and try not to fill up your chest, but try to fill your belly. So speaking of Santa Claus, you get that belly going big out like Santa Claus when you inhale. That's what I always tell people. Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'll lead it so we can inhale through our nose now. And hold. And release through your mouth. In through your nose. Hold. And out through your mouth. And one more. In. Hold. And out. Now let's send some love.
Yes, thank you for that. Thank you. That felt nice. Welcome on in, Tracy. So I do, even though we're trying a new format today, I personally love the idea of doing a rapid fire love fest just to kind of get our brains and our writing hands ready and warmed up. And today I thought it'd be cool, since I just spoke about Gina and her being in the next workshop, let's do a rapid fire love fest, either to a friend that you're really close with now, that you talk to almost every day, or an old friend. And Gina has, this is an entire chapter in her book. Every month is a theme and a chapter in her book. And she came up with the idea when she thought of writing cards to friends. She thought, well, where do I even begin? Where am I going to, I don't want to like pour an entire, these are all the things I love about you. She could write a novel, right? And so she was looking through old pictures and trying to, kind of rethink of old memories and just think of what to say to each person. And then she thought of this cool idea to use photos basically as the postcard. And she talks about how exactly to do that, so it actually goes through the mail. But she decided on this format for each one that I think would be a really cool rapid fire love fest format. And she decided that her template for these postcards would begin with the phrase, "Remember when we were young and carefree?" And then she would share a memory with that person and thank them for being a friend, for being, there when she needed a laugh. And it became really easy for her to write a bunch of these postcards. And so some examples to her friend Megan: "Remember when we were in our carefree 20s and looked like American Apparel models? I miss those days and I miss you. Thank you for being your funny, smart, wonderful self. And thank you for being my friend." Another one, she said to a friend, "Remember when we were young and carefree and getting to know each other in Italy? Don't tell Jake, but I don't think anyone makes me laugh as hard as you do." Jake being her husband. As Maggie wrote in the winery guest book, "Thank you for the friendship." So you get the idea. All right, we'll just do a rapid fire love fest, 1 or 2, try to keep it short and sweet. try to wrap it up. Does anyone feel like sharing? Sherry, go for it.
I couldn't remember how to unmute myself. That's ridiculous. Okay. It might be a little long. It's just on a postcard though, so it's short. Michelle, remember when we were young and carefree, walking miles in the pouring rain, thinking my dad was going to kill me for killing the battery in the Bronco? Oh, how special you are to me, dear friend. Miss you, love you. P.S. Welcome to your new home. She just moved.
Aw. That's sweet. Were you grounded after that?
My parents didn't ground us. They were scary enough without grounding. They didn't need to ground us.
Every day you're a little bit grounded without them saying anything.
Yeah, we were listening to music by the lake and it ran the battery out. And so we walked like 10 miles in the pouring and a rainstorm came in and we couldn't see the road because it's Montana and it's very, very dark.
Oh man.
So.
I'm gonna share mine. I wrote this too. We're still extremely close, but we've been friends since the 4th grade. I said her name's Jordan. Jordan, remember when we were total dorks making up dances to NSYNC and memorizing their every move on the VMAs? I miss those days and the days of pen paling during the summers, and I miss you. Can't wait to see you in January. Just coming up here. I'm thrilled. NSYNC, man. I went down a rabbit hole the other day and put NSYNC on Spotify. And then you know how you get the suggested songs and music, like the whole thing was just ruined. Maybe not ruined, but my whole suggestion, all the radio suggestions after that were just very different, I will say. Okay, let's keep this moving. I wanted to, I think you guys have all heard the story that I'm gonna briefly share just to set up our next prompt. And but I just want to kind of reshare it really quickly to get us in the frame of mind. And then I'm going to ask Katrina to help me out with today's main prompt. So we are actually going to write a card to ourselves today, which is something that we've done in the 5-day challenge, which I think all of you were in, which is cool. But we're going to write a card to ourselves. I just feel like with the holidays coming up and back to school coming off of that, it's just been really wild. And when is the last time we all took intentional time for ourselves, right? So a couple years ago, I took an overnight trip by myself, took an Airbnb. I was fried. I was coaching a team of 15-year-olds and they were just a lot to manage and it was very intense. And I thought it would be a relief from life, right? After becoming a mom, having a 1.5-year-old, I thought, oh, I'll give creatively to these teams. I'll do a good thing. And it was not what I expected. It was very rough. Being a new mom was also very rough for me. And so on this Airbnb, I just thought, what the hell? I'm going to try this thing called mirror work, which I totally poked fun of when I heard it on a podcast earlier that day. I thought this sounds like the weirdest thing in the world. But after I had one too many glasses of wine by myself, I decided I'll try it. Let's just see how this goes. And it took me a few minutes to really get into it. And, but for some reason, all of a sudden, I'll blame the wine. After looking at myself for a few minutes in the mirror, something clicked and I was able to see myself as if I was, on the outside looking in. And I felt kind of bad. I felt like I had abandoned my friend and I felt like I had just dropped the ball on her. And I was pouring myself into all these other things, into coaching and these girls and the parents, and then of course into my daughter and motherhood. And I wasn't eating enough during the day. I just wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't doing anything for me. And I had this moment and I thought, I apologized actually to myself. And I said, I'm sorry, I've dropped the ball on you. I'm sorry, I haven't been nourishing you. I'm sorry I haven't been checking in with you, asking how you've been, asking how you've been doing, how I can help. I see that you've had, so much on your plate, and I remind you that you're doing enough. And in fact, you're doing too much. You don't have to do any more. All these things just started coming out, and it was very healing for me in that moment. And I thought, we need to do this. We need to do this more often. We need to maybe write these things down. And what better way to do that than with a card that you can pop in the mail when you're done, have it come back to you, and have it feel like that reminder from a friend, right? So that's what I want to do today. And Katrina, I think we all know Katrina here. If not, I do want you to, here, let's unmute you, girl. And tell us a little bit about you, what you do with your company. And I will say, Katrina, I called on her specifically because she's so good at, we like to call you the mindset chiropractor, right? You're so good at making small, manageable changes that can make a giant difference down the road. And that's what I love about you. You always keep it very real. It's not some frilly approach to getting our mentality right, and taking care of ourselves. You are very real, and you're really good at what you do. So,
Well, thank you. My gosh. I'm so happy to be here. Apologies, my child lovingly shared his cold with me, so I'm just rocking it and showing up a little raspy, a little Phoebe. We've got it. I'm Katrina. Of course, I wouldn't miss it. I run a mindset membership for women, and it's really just a safe space where we can show up as our vulnerable selves and feel embraced and supported and loved just as we are, while also like lifting each other up on the hard days and celebrating all of the little moments that happen, because like everything's worth celebrating and not enough celebrations happen. And the huge thing that I teach them and that has resonated so much with my community is through mantras or affirmations. And I want to challenge us to maybe look ahead and like see something that's coming up in our lives, and like what could we say to ourselves after the fact that could like boost us, right? So like if you have like a big meeting coming up and you're really anxious, like saying something to yourself of like, after you've done that, like what do you need to hear that like got you through that, and like celebrating yourself. So fun fact, I actually have a freebie for you guys. I've put together 100 of my favorite affirmations that my clients have loved, and it just gives you more inspiration to send to yourself later on. So this doesn't have to end today, but what fun way to like get an affirmation in the mail and be like, oh, you know what? Like, yeah, I am right where I'm supposed to be. And like, it is part of the bigger picture. So I do have a few prompts I can put into the chat. Sarah, tell me like, hey, you're not supposed to be doing this right now. Like yell at me.
No, I love this. I actually, so
Okay.
I got her affirmations. I printed them out a few weeks ago. They're so good. And what I would love, Katrina, if you can, I think it would be cool to maybe flip them a little bit so that, some I starred as my personal favorites. Like, I set myself free of past mistakes. For this prompt, let's flip it to, I set you free of your past mistakes. Like, let's write a card to ourselves as friends and see if we can have that same impact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's and awesome. Then, or when I ask for help, I show incredible strength. I love that one. So again, just using this to acknowledge, hey, as your friend, I see that when you ask for help, you're incredibly strong, because I think sometimes it's easier for us to hear things when someone else is saying them to us than versus our own self, which is, shouldn't be that way, but it is.
Yeah.
So again, you guys do whatever you'd like to do. If you want to have it, first person to yourself, great. But yeah.
Oh, geez, please. Ignore that one. I like fixed it, and then Zoom was like, no, I want to make it complicated.
So let's try this out. And yeah, Katrina, as you're putting those in there, we're going to give ourselves a decent chunk of time on this. Like, what is it? Let's do maybe even like 15, 20 minutes. I think I love that idea about thinking of what's coming up for you and what you'd like to hear after the fact. I also wrote down, I thought, like, make this a love note, like make this a love note to yourself that's real, as if like you've been in this friendship with yourself for your entire life, right? But it's not all frilly. It's not just like the rose-colored relationship or friendship. It's, hey, let's address that it's been real. Like we've gotten real here. We've been through a lot. Let's address that and end it on just a total love fest for yourself. Like, hey, you're amazing for all these different reasons, right? I'll put in the chat just a couple different things to get you started on the keeping it real side. And then Katrina, I would love for you to pop in there. Yep, just keep these coming because these are really great. Yeah, for instance, last year we've been through this. We've been through, like, this came up last year, this came up recently, and I saw you get through it anyway. Acknowledge the tough stuff that you've done and then end it on a big old high note.
Sarah, I don't want to cry. This is going to make me cry.
Okay, then I'm going
Yours
to
are
put some
welcome.
music on that's going to keep it light and uplifting. I want this
Okay.
to be a party of your friendship with you. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to get deep.
Let's do this.
Damn it. That was like a big thing I didn't want to happen. I wanted to keep it light today, but I want you guys to feel good. Like, let's acknowledge ourselves here, right? This is
We've come so far. How can it not be deep?
yeah, that's true.
You know?
You can keep it comical. Sherry, you're so funny. I mean, there's a lot of ways to keep it light, right? I'm gonna go ahead and put music on. We'll try to wrap up around, like, I'll give you a couple of minutes. I would say between like 10:45 and 10:50. Okay, whenever the song ends, I'm gonna put some music on. Feel free to mute it and put your own music on, or just mute me entirely and unmute around 10:45. Okay.
Can't hear it yet.
How about now? Yeah. you guys a minute to finish up. Oh man, that was pretty powerful for me. Hopefully it was for you guys too. Keep on writing if you're trying to finish up. Yep, went ahead and put Katrina's website in the chat and the link to get the full 100 affirmations. Katrina, thank you for doing that. I loved that. That was so helpful. I kept scrolling through the chat when I didn't totally know what to say, and it seemed perfect. I found the right thing and I just put it down. So that was awesome. Thank you.
Hopefully it wasn't too overwhelming. I'm like, I feel like I should keep going, but like I should stop.
Hopefully you wrote something for yourself. Hey,
Oh, I actually would. I have a text list that I text myself every morning along with everyone else. So it works really well. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Selena. Hi, James. He went somewhere else, but hi. You're muted, so I have no idea what you're saying.
I didn't realize it's a big group thing. Sorry.
It's okay. We're like family anyway. We've never met anyone else here. Yay. This is
Nice
awesome.
to meet you.
Likewise, stranger.
That was fun. I feel almost like I don't know if I like want to ask if any of you feel like you want to share, amazing. I'm not counting on it. I would be happy to share mine. This is the first time that I was able to do the main prompt in one of these workshops. So for that reason, I'm a fan of this new format, but I know I'm not here for myself. I'm willing to share if anyone, we have a couple minutes if anyone wants to hear. Okay. This was cool. I did not expect this. So this is one of my original cards. I used to have 5x7s when I launched because I used a third-party app, like a drop shipper essentially, to fulfill all my orders. So I don't even have these cards anymore. And I cringe at the design of it because it's like hardly even legible. But I like the message of this one. And I'm actually working on bringing it back. It just says, hey, you are really good at what you do. This card, by the way, I'll have to let you guys know when I finish the updated design. Every time I've given this card to someone, it's gotten them choked up. Between our house painters, my daughter's music teacher, there was one other person, my doctor. Every single time, it's like no one hears that. They don't expect it. And it's such a simple thing, but yet because we don't hear it or we don't expect it, it just really makes a big difference. So I grabbed this one because I have a bunch of them. And I'll just stop talking and read it. Okay. Before you try to edit that to say you're really okay at what you do, stop that shit. You are really good at what you do and you're getting better every day. Had to address that off the bat. Look at all you've done this past year. You read Untamed to kick off the year and thought that quote was nice. The one about how life is tough, but you are tougher. And baby, you are fireproof. Remember you thought that was sweet? Well, you fucking embodied it. You leaned into it and told the world to watch you while you did. And you brought others with you, lifting them up where and when you could. COVID tried to crush you. COVID tried to test you as a mom. It tried to test your marriage. It tried to test your business, your creativity, and your drive. but all it did was make them stronger. Every single one of those things. Thank you for choosing to set boundaries this year for the sake of your mental health and your family. Thank you for realizing you don't have to do everything alone, for turning outward and trusting in divine timing. I'm proud of you for showing up every day when it was hard. Keep showing up, releasing what's weighing you down along the way. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. As you move through the next month and the next few months and the year ahead, remember how far you've come. This past year alone, you can do that shit again. Let's hope we don't have to, but you know what I mean? You are doing big things. You're surrounded by love. You're surrounded by the best people and nothing but possibilities. And I promise I'll be here supporting you through it. I'm not going anywhere this time. With love, you.
You should frame that. That's so good.
Can you just photocopy it and send it to all of us? I'll just throw mine
thing.
away.
You know, I thank you. That's really sweet, both of you. Part of me doesn't want to send this in the mail. I just kind of want to like make sure I have it and it doesn't get lost in the craziness of USPS. God bless them right now. But yeah, that felt good. Pat, let me ask you, you can put it in the chat, you can raise your hand. How did that feel for you guys?
It felt good.
Freeing. Yeah.
I just wanted to share that I've had this one card for a while now, and I really like it, but I was having a hard time like figuring out who to send it to for what, for when. And I know you say like, it doesn't matter, just send the card. But I kept like, I would pull it out and I was at a few different times now thinking, oh, this one I could, and then I was like, I don't know, it's just not quite right. And so I was flipping through for this prompt of my cards, and this was like the last one, and I was like, oh, this is it.
Oh my God.
It's a Sarah Weger special. It's the holy shit, you made it through the first year. I know it's kind of designed for, you know, a child who is a baby, a 1-year-old, but I'm old. And so I don't have a lot of friends having babies these days. My friends' kids are all graduating high school and going to college right now.
You know what? Let me say, you can use that card for like their first year of college. You can use it for like first year at a job.
A lot of out for like, you know, the first year of COVID was when I really kept thinking I was going to send it. And nothing just felt right. But I sent it to myself. I'm sending it to myself today because I am coming up on officially 1 year of running my business. I launched in November last year. Yay. So yeah.
Congrats.
Holy shit. I made it. The first year.
Yes, you did. Oh, what a tough year that is too. Oh, that's awesome. Congrats, Laura. That's awesome. Yeah, that reminds me, I did send that one to a friend after her first year of business. The girl, I'm sure you guys have seen my really crazy earrings, that really dangly fun ones. That's my friend who makes them. So I sent that to her after 1 year. She said, I'm still here. And that was her big win because heck yeah. Okay, I will, if anyone else wants to share, otherwise I think that was, it's cool to hear what that felt to you guys. Yeah, Tracy, heck yeah, that you're full of grit and moxie. Amazing. And Stephanie, yeah, definitely felt good when you tapped into a truth. Way to go. That's a big one. Katrina, thanks again for sharing all those. These, by the way, I printed these off. I highly recommend you guys go to her site and do the same, because this will unblock you from writing a card to yourself, even if it's a postcard down the line. It will also, I mean, there's so many ideas in here that you can use for cards to friends. There's just, I mean, 100 affirmations, like 100 compliments, positive things to send to anyone, anytime. So this is worth a lot and you're giving it for free. That's amazing of you. Let's see. I would love to ask you guys, moving forward on these workshops, like what, so I can, this is selfish of me. I would love to know how to talk about these workshops to get more people in it. Tell me what your biggest takeaway from today was, what your biggest takeaway from this workshop. You can punch it in the chat if you want.
Sarah, I just want to say you are completely underestimating the value of what you do yourself, because I'm a card maker. That's what I do. But I can tell you right now, I know 100 card makers that are terrible at sending cards. They have hundreds of cards in their supply and they never send them. And I have told everyone about you. I'm like, no, I'm serious, guys. We take our cards, we sit down, we do the thing. And like, I actually get cards in the mail, and it's kind of shocking. But more importantly than that, it's the spirit of connecting with other people, with ourselves, with each other. It's really grounding to know that you're being deliberately, intentionally connecting the threads of your life.
That's exactly what this is. And that's what I've been working on, just reframing this, because thank you for that. That's exactly what this is. It's, of course, you have to think of how am I going to talk about this in a way to get people to sign up. And in my mind, it's been like, oh, well, wow, in 1 hour, we wrote this many cards. I know it's not really about that, right? Like, it's not about the number. It's about the connection and doing our part in all of our relationships and being intentional, sitting down and writing these things, telling people how we feel. So
maybe instead of saying we wrote this many cards, maybe you should say we touched this many lives.
Yes.
Or we reached out to this many hearts, or, because that to me is what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Just bringing pause. Yeah. I mean, it blows my mind that there's nothing else like this. That's part of why I started it. I don't see anyone else doing this, which is sad. I feel like everyone should be doing this. So
Can I add something?
but yes,
I love
please
what
add anything, because
I love what Tracy said. I love what Tracy said. And I'm reading the book, but I bought it and I started reading it, but I started it over because I had taken too long. But one thing she says toward the beginning is how, she would get on how long was her train commute in New York? It was like an hour.
Yeah.
And she said she'd get on and she'd pull out her phone and she had a whole hour and she'd get on whatever, social media. And she's like, oh my gosh, that went so fast. And then she decided to start being intentional about her time on the train and just putting her phone down. And this is where we're all at in our lives. And just taking a moment to pause and really have intention and just doing your workshops. I've written some letters to doctors' offices, and I forget that I've done that. And when I go in, they know exactly who I am. It's the weirdest thing. Like, I even gave it to the billing department. I gave the woman a card, and she has, like, they have him hanging in their office because they said no one does that, and that just is heartbreaking to me. So I just think having intention with things that we do and taking the time to really write a card. Anyone can post it on social media. And I think maybe focusing on pulling away from technology a little bit and really getting centered and being present. And that's what Gina talks about in that book, is how centered and present she feels. And on the weekends, I kind of check out from social media to spend time with my family. And I haven't been so great about it, but lately I'm forced to because of activities, and it feels so good. Yeah. And so it's just like a reset button, and it can be that refresher that we need to, like Tracy said, to make those personal connections deeper. Mm-hmm. And you guys have to get this book and read it, because it will change a lot of your thinking and just make these cards more meaningful. Okay, that's all.
Oh, I love you, Sherry. Thank you. Amen. 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 I can't imagine this without you guys. I consider this something Ashley Knight, my coach, told me. She's like, you did not lead that last workshop. You need to lead it. And I was like, but I facilitate like this. You guys are all of, to me, it's a team effort. It's a collective. And I just happen to be the one that's like hosting the Zoom link. I get what she's saying, but this is helpful. So that's all to say. I don't know what I would do without you guys. And I really appreciate this feedback. Oh, the name of the book, Tracy, is I Want to Thank You by Gina Hamadej. So, yep, how a year of gratitude can bring joy and meaning in a disconnected world. I mean, that's it. That's how a 1-hour workshop can bring joy and meaning in a disconnected world. It's the same thing. Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys. That's all I had for you today. Don't forget, I'm just going to remind you, don't forget to tell friends that we're going to up the price of this to hopefully that's a fair price. Tracy, you let me know. I don't want to be underselling this, but yeah, it is going to go up on November 1st. So just tell your friends to come in, even if they skip a workshop or they can't make it live. I'm going to be pouring more into this in terms of like a weekly, like an email of weekly prompts, just to keep us going more in between workshops. So there's a lot of different but really fun things coming to sort of make up for because I feel like I haven't been doing a great job on Facebook to keep it going. So I'm gonna change that up a little bit.
Hey, Sarah, people have asked me, when does it meet? And I don't have a good answer because I've not, can it be consistent or it feels like it's?
Yeah, I think the way that it's working with like my schedule with I have to do it when my daughter's in school. So that's typically this time. So I would say you can tell them like during the week at this time. I think that's going to stay pretty consistent. The October workshop is 10 a.m. Is it noon for you?
1. Oh, 10, then 12. Yeah, that's 1.
3. Okay. So 1 o'clock for you consistently during the week. But part of the new format, I also like, this is really easy for me to kind of replicate and do and sort of lead like a follow-up workshop doing the same format for people that might have missed it. Like I can see myself doing that down the line to give another opportunity essentially for people that can't do it during the week. Cause I know that's a lot of people like during work, during school, that kind of thing. So that's a long-winded answer to say during the week, 1 p.m., but there's also going to be follow-up workshops starting soon. I'm not for sure when, but.
Sarah, also like for those that can't make it live, like you're already putting in prompts to the group. So they're still going to get benefit from it. And, if they can join a call, then that's a bonus.
Right. And there's going to be, where's my notes? Hold on a second. So I can just run. You guys, feel free to leave anytime. I know I'm going an hour over. I'm going to add in, and you guys can tell me what you think. I think I might replace the Facebook group because I don't know. I have like Facebook fatigue. I know a lot of us are feeling that. Yeah, it's just kind of a lot. And I would rather just rely more on email and get it directly to you guys to make sure that you're seeing it. And we can, I'm always going to have Instagram. We can connect there. I'm going to have just Send the Damn Card related posts there to get people to come into the community, but we can interact there. There's not going to be like a drop off of this sense of community because this is really important to me.
Hey, Sarah.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to tell you, so I have Member Vault, and that is where I house my PDFs, my videos, and all that. And up until I think 250 members, it's completely free.
Oh.
And it's a platform where you can have modules, you can have lessons, you can, however you want to do it, but it lets you keep all the content in one place. And they do have pages coming where you can actually have like a group page where people can interact without it being Facebook.
Okay, great. I made a note of that. I'm gonna look into it. Thank you. Yeah, this is great Katrina will chat too. If any other suggestions that you guys have? Sure, you look.
One of my friends uses Mighty Networks. And so I don't know the cost of it, but there's like a free section and a paid content section. So you could get people into the free community, and then the workshop is extra.
I've heard really good things about that. It's kind of newer, right?
I will say,
Yeah.
can I say one thing about that though?
Yeah.
I had my membership on Mighty Networks to start in March, and a lot of people didn't engage because they're not always on it and they forget to go check in. So I was like, well, I'm
Yeah.
spending like $23 a month and it's crickets. It's a great platform though, if you have the audience.
Yeah. I know. I got to consider, because I have my site on Shopify. I have the membership set up through Shopify because I want it together. That's the tricky part. And then I do need automated emails set up with that, which I paid MailChimp for already for other things. So I'm like, how can I figure all this shit out? But I'll look into Member Vault and Mighty Networks, because that's good to know. I mean, is that the general consensus? Like, we could do without the Facebook group? That's not going to like devastate anyone?
Yeah, I think we really could do without the Facebook group, because I feel like the sense of community that you really want and strive for and are developing is really here during the live calls.
Right.
And that I think that if you do, really get everyone on Instagram following you there and interacting there, that it would be the same thing as that we have in the
Right.
Facebook group.
And that's the thing. It's like, why am I have to streamline where I'm like, or just simplify where I'm putting all my resources, like my time and my energy. If we're not, if Facebook isn't the right fix for that, then let's see how we do without it. Okay. Tracy, I'm reading your comment. This is nice. This is really helpful. Thank you. What do you guys think of this format today? Yeah. Do you miss
I like it.
any more prompts? Yeah. Okay. Not as frazzled.
Hopefully I had
Yeah.
like the calm energy and not like Lorelai Gilmore. I'm like, I just want to show you all love.
I love that though. Yeah, I thought that was nice. I mean, that's another part of building community. I don't want to be the only one running it. You guys all have so much to offer, and I just want to bring people in and like show off everything that you guys have. I mean, everything that you guys give. Our group is so freaking awesome. Just want to bring more of you in. So, okay. Love to you.
Thank you, Sarah, so much.
Thank you guys. Send me any other feedback you have. I'm wide open to it, but way to go. Great job today.